Stampers, this is Kim with Great Inspirations. Welcome to my Stamp Happy Halloween video series. And today we are going to make these little cards. They stand up all by themselves, unless I knock them over again. I know it's hard to see that, but there they are. And if you follow me, I have made these before. I call them a box sleeve card. There's many different ways you can orient them. There are many different variations, but this one today is fairly easy. The scoring is very simple. And like I said, it stands up by itself, but not only that, whichever side your box sleeve is on, press towards the center, and then the card will fit in an A2 size envelope. Those are, for those of you in the Stampin' Up! World, that is the medium size envelope. So there we go. And you can decorate these any way you like. As you can see on this one, I've just cut out some little characters here at the little witch. I die cut this cauldron, did a little stamping. I put some pattern paper on the sides, and then on the back, it's where you can sign your name and write a message. I just put some pattern paper as a mat and then some white cardstock to stamp on. So for this one, I've put pattern paper here and on the sides, and then on the back it's the same. The pattern paper with then the white to write a message and sign your name. For this one, I've used just cardstock. Cardstock here with this image, and here, and then on the back, I've just used a piece of the green cardstock and put Happy Halloween, because this color is light enough. You can use a black pen or even a blue pen and you know, sign your name or write a message. And this one, kind of done the same as this one. Just some cardstock and then the pattern paper on the sides and back, and then the white cardstock. So and you know, as you can see, you can have your box sleeve on the left or the box sleeve on the right. And before we go any farther, some of you may be asking, why is that a box sleeve? Well, back in the olden days when I was growing up, we had a wood-burning stove, and we did a lot of camping, and we always had kitchen matches. And this, you know, there's the box inside with the matches. And this portion right here was referred to as the box sleeve. So that's why I call any card that has this little box form a box sleeve card. And before the end of the video, I will show how you can turn this little card into a little treat box. But first, let's learn how to score the card. I'll just move these over here for now. And I'm going to get a piece of cardstock, and this is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And don't worry about the measurements. The measurements will be found in my corresponding blog post, and the link to that blog post will be in the description of this video. Now, usually when I score, I'll bring out my cutting board, but today I'm going to use my scoreboard. And we'll put it right here, and hopefully you'll be able to see. So we have it with the 11-inch side across the top of the scoreboard. Take the stylus, and we are going to score at 1 inch, 2 inches, 4 1/2 inches, and 5 1/2 inches. That's all there is to it. 1 inch, 2 inches, 4 1/2, and 5 1/2. That's it. Now we just have to fold it And we'll use a bone folder to help us. And they're all mountain folds. Oops. And there we go. Now we'll just burnish them. Now, as you can see, this score line right there was at 5.5. If you left it like this, it's just a normal A2 size card. You can open it like this. Now, there's the 4.5 score line, the 2-inch score line, and the 1-inch score line. Now we're going to get some adhesive. And on this flap right here from the edge to the 1-inch score line, we're going to put adhesive. And I would recommend using something strong. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend liquid glue, but I'm not patient. If you're patient, liquid glue will work. So what we're going to do, fold on the 2-inch line, then fold at the 5.5, and just lay it down. And there is the card base for our box fold, or our box sleeve card. And now all you have to do is decide, do I want my box sleeve to be to the left, or do I want it to be to the right? And actually, you could actually do it like this as well. Set it up and have a little maybe scene up here and a sentiment, or vice versa. But that is how I made these 4 cards. The box sleeve card. Easy peasy. Now to take these and turn them in to a little treat box. See, just put a couple of little Reese's cups in there. Did it just exactly like I did these, except I put a bottom in it. And that is really easy to do. The hardest part is getting it inside the sleeve without the adhesive sticking before you want it to. So I'll show you how I did that. And I have this little diagram here. And it looks very complicated with all the little X's and lines. But when I do a diagram, my solid lines are score lines, and the dotted lines are cut lines, just because to me that means cut. I know that may not make sense to other people, but that's what makes sense to me, and I usually try to put in the corner down here a little guide to what all my markings mean. But so what you need for this is a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/8 inches long by 1 3/4 inches long. And if you can have it be the same color as your card base, you can make it out of white, you can make it out of a contrasting color, it doesn't matter. We'll use this white, and I've already done the scoring. And along the 4 1/8 inch side, you score it 3 1/8 inches. I guess it would be actually along the 1 3/4. You score it 3 3/8 and 1 3/8. And then along the 4 1/8, it's 7/8 and 3 1/8. And then we're just going to fold all these and do a little cutting with some scissors. And then we'll be ready to put the bottom into our treat bag. We'll put a bottom in this green card. Okay. Move this out of the way, grab the scissors, and on these little ends right here, we're going to cut towards the center. Do the same thing on this side. And then these little flaps right here, we're going to cut them in half, approximately. Doesn't matter, you just want them to be shorter. And then we're going to miter the sides on this center flap. Now I think my husband is finished target shooting. But if you do hear like something that sounds like gunshots, it is. But it's okay. He's out at his little range doing some target practice. I think he is finished. I hope, because sometimes he'll shoot and it makes me jump. So same thing. Cut these apart right here and cut them in half. And miter this a bit. Paper wants to stick to my fingers. There we go. Now we're going to basically be assembling it to look like this. So what I'm going to do just turn it so the right side is facing. I'm going to just put a little adhesive right on these flaps. And it's okay if that's sticking over a little over the edge, just turn it inward and adhere it to the larger flap. There we go. Now we do the same thing on this end. And you know what I should have done? I should have put some of this on here. Let me get some tear and tape. That will work. Okay, here we go. Yep, don't be like me. Put your adhesive on first before you assemble. And we'll get some on this side. And we'll take backing off of that. Oops, wrong end. That does not want to come off today. There we go. My fingers are kind of a mess. Number one, the RA is kind of messing with them. And number two, I finally finished canning tomatoes. That's always rough on my skin and my fingers, but I do enjoy it. It's always nice to have the cupboard full of the tomato juice, tomato sauce. I made some salsa, some chili sauce, ketchup, all those kind of things. My tape is not cooperating. There we go. I've not used this in a while. I'm wondering if it's getting to the point that I need to use it up or think about getting rid of it. Okay, we have that. So we have adhesive on both ends. And now we're just going to put it in the bottom of the box. There we go. And then I'm going to take my bone folder, because if you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, this side, the little flap is not pressed against the box. So we'll do that. It's all pressed down. And now we'll do the other side. Look at the bottom and make sure that it's all the way in there before you do this. And there you go. That's how you can turn your card into a little treat box. Now, of course, you won't be able to fit this into an envelope, but you can hand them out. I'll probably make a couple more of these and give them to my grandkids and their friends. Just like that. So here's the treat box. And then here are the 4 cards. And as you saw, it didn't really take that long to make either of those. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, the measurements and instructions and my cute little handmade chart will all be found on my corresponding blog post. And the link to that blog post is located in the description of this video. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, stamp happy.